Good morning, everybody. Welcome into today's class. Welcome into a big heaping helping of success, opportunity, possibility, and growth. You know, under our current circumstances, and I'm starting to hate that phrase, under our current circumstances, because we're all always under current circumstances. It's kind of silly, but you know what? There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of upset. There's a lot of angry. There's a lot of nervous. There's a lot of worried. And I don't want to be any of that. I want to be a source of positive. I want to be a source of opportunity. I want to be a source of enthusiasm. I want to be a source of success. Those are the things that I try to focus on with the time that we have today together. And there's only one thing I like talking about more than what I like talking about today, that I like than what we're talking about today. And those people that know me know this stuff. My absolute number one favorite thing to talk about is raising haircut prices. But that's not today's conversation. That conversation starts in a huge way June 1st. Because July 1st, July 1 is Raise Your Haircut Prices Day in the USA. That's a holiday that I created almost 12 years ago. And every year in June, I hit it pretty hard. And I'm going to start hitting it pretty hard with everyone starting June 1st. There's going to be a video every single day for the entire month of June focusing on the conversation of Raise Your Haircut Prices Day in the USA. Now, I know some people who got back to work already raised their haircut prices. And I know some people are not back to work yet and may not be back to work July 1st. And I know that some people are anxious and apprehensive about price increases in light of our current financial circumstances and economic circumstances. And I know there are other people that just don't care. They're going up. And I want to help you do that. I want to help you do that using your head, using your calculator, and using math, as opposed to worrying about your heart, your stomach, your anxiety, and some of those kind of things. So we will get into that conversation very soon. But today's conversation, before we go there, is the turning small money into big money conversation. And we'll talk about why it is very timely to have this conversation right now. And then we're just going to get right into the how of turning small money into big money. So welcome into the program. Thank you for being here. Pull up a chair, get yourself a cold drink, get yourself a pen and paper, take some notes, and we're going to go for it. We're going to get into it together. Now, we always start out by acknowledging, saying thank you to, mentioning, reflecting upon, and remembering our good friends from Barbicide. Barbicide is the world leader in sanitation and infection control in the professional beauty industry. Don't forget, you've got all your online certifications at barbicide.com. You've got your back to work plan and your reopening recommendations. And you know, those documents now are almost a month old, give or take, since they were put out there for the public to, and the professional beauty industry to read and consume and learn. And they're holding up really, really well. They still make good sense. They're still timely and logical. In spite of the fact that we get new information every single day, and in spite of the fact that we're constantly bombarded with additional data and whatnot, because those recommendations were based on solid science and simply the facts of circumstances, those documents hold up extremely well for protecting each other, our businesses, and our reputation. So go visit barbicide.com if you haven't spent some time there already. Spend some time there doing the necessary learning that will provide you with confidence, will provide you with a little peace of mind, a little bit of comfort in that regard, so that you can get right into it and get busy and be productive, healthy, and successful. As you know, where do we go? At the beginning of these conversations, every single time we get together, we always start with $100,000 hair cutter. Good morning. Here we go. And remember, being a $100,000 hair cutter is not a one-time thing. It's not a one-day thing, and it's not one thing. That is why a reading from $100,000 hair cutter is part of every single class I do. I start the class with a quick daily reading from the book. 365 ideas, plus a bonus week, plus 2 monthly focused topics of additional information, online, paper, digital, or audio, ivanzoot.com. Things you already know. But let's talk about May 28, day 148, with 217 days remaining in the year. Block your blondes. Block your blondes. Thin, fine hair should carry a blocked nape line. Some lighter colors and finer textures cannot support a tapered edge. Thin, fine hair will not really taper properly many times. It is preferred to block these clients to put a nice finish on the back and the bottom edge of their haircut. This is the opposite of what men's hair cutters typically try to do, but texture demands to be treated differently. Very light colors disappear as they get shorter. Tapering very light hair colors can alter the look of the cut. There's still hair present, but it becomes nearly invisible. Is hair you cannot see really still there? I love that question. Trying to taper very light colors usually ends up with the barber taking the whole haircut up too high. This throws off the balance of the entire shape that you're trying to create. This one's a technical cutting tip, obviously. I think there's a lot of relevance in this, though, because it's about the idea that thin, fine hair, when cut short, behaves differently than thick, coarse hair, dark hair. I always say if you do a number one buzz cut on a little boy, Spanish, Latino, Asian, dark complected, darker hair color, heavy hair density, you do that number one buzz cut on that kid, he looks like a kid with a number one buzz cut. Great. Summertime. This is the time we do those. However, that exact same number one buzz cut on a little towhead, a little very fine textured blonde kid, buzz, same guard, same length, that kid looks like he's bald. There's nothing there. So you have to factor in density and texture when making some of these length decisions. And the idea is if you try to taper up that fine and fair hair, there's no hair left. And the haircut looks like it was carried up too high. So those are legitimate considerations we need to factor in when making some of those nape line cutting and grooming decisions. And this is where we find ourselves in the business, understanding it's not one size fits all, and the rules aren't always the rules. The rules have a little bit of play in them when we factor in what we will call human variation. You know, we are not building interchangeable parts. We are not creating gears that snap into a machine. We are dealing with real, variable, interchangeable, different, modified humans. Every one of them is a little bit different. So that's the tip of the day for today. If somebody on Facebook wants to toss in a date for a reading from $100,000 Haircutter, we will take another day from somebody if they want to offer it up. I'm happy to have it. Good morning to everybody who's checking in here. I'm just going to like a few of those comments while we'll give lag time the chance for anybody who wants to pick a date to offer one up. We like to sometimes do a second reading when there is time and opportunity for that. So if anybody on Facebook's got a date, toss it out there. We'll be happy to have it. Otherwise, we're going to move forward with the day's program. So we've shared this program before, and the response on it was really strong. Got a lot of great engagement, got a lot of great conversation. The program is about turning small money into big money. And I really was inspired to dig a little deeper on this subject with the lockout of our industry and the stoppage of work associated with coronavirus. Ronald says October 23. Thank you for coughing up a date for that. Octo 23. Let's take a look. October 23, this is an entire class. October 23, day 296, 69 days remaining in the year, work in revolutions. October 23 is a nod to my revolution cutting system, which was the system that I developed in 1998, the first time that I broke the Guinness World Records for haircutting. It is what we call the notion of economy of motion. There's a lot in it. It could be an entire class. It has been. I will be teaching it again as a full class at some point in the future. It's probably got one of the most technical little diagram doodles of all the doodles in my entire book. But it's an efficiency and productivity tip, and I love talking about efficiency and productivity. Actually, the topic of the week this week for my Clipper Guy world is bridging the gap, or closing the gap that we find we have with regards to our income as a result of the slowing of productivity tied to the additional steps we're forced to take under the coronavirus circumstances in which we're working. We talk about efficiency and productivity in that conversation a lot. Because if you were doing half-hour haircuts to an hour at $20 a piece, and now you've had to stretch to 40 minutes because of moving clients in and out of the shop and sanitation considerations that weren't present in the past, if you've had to move to 40 minutes, you're doing 1.5 haircuts per hour now, down from 2. Your hourly productivity went from 40 to 30. It's a 25% loss in revenue, strictly as a result of timing issues. So we need to close that gap. We need to find $10 more per hour. And how do we go about doing that? That's the conversation for the topic of the week. Video of the week went live today. Audio of the week goes live tomorrow. Text blog went live on Tuesday. We had our live meeting last night. If you want in on all of this, join me online on my Patreon community. I just put the link up in the comments for the Facebook stream right here, facebook.com/Ivan Zoot, where you're watching me. I just put the link up for patreon.com/Ivan Zoot. That is my online community where all of this stuff lives. And there are links to it on my website at ivanzoot.com as well. So, small money, turning small money into big money. Let's talk about some things here. The haircut business is a small money business. We do not ring up sales at the cash register for thousands of dollars, even hundreds. Many times we're dealing in 10s and 20s, small money. We do not work for months on a sale and close multi-million-dollar deals. We're a small money industry. We sell pucks of paste for $14. We sell haircuts for $22, $32, $12. Don't do it for $12. But we're a small money business. We get tipped frequently in small money. $2 here, $5 there, a 10 and a 20 occasionally. That's small money, guys. When you look at the amount of money in the world, and please, if you come away from this presentation with no other idea, please understand the earth is covered in money. There is so much money out there. There is no shortage of money in America. There is no shortage of money in your town. You might have a shortage of money, and we're going to work on fixing that. You might want more money. You might need more money. But I want you to come away from this program understanding that it's out there. More money is out there, and you can go get more of it. Pretty simple. We're a small money business, but that doesn't mean we can't live bigger. That doesn't mean we can't save well. And it all starts little and it grows from there. And the program that I have, the Turn Small Money into Big Money program, and this is it. It's a document. It's a PDF download. It's available on my website. It's on sale until midnight tonight. If you haven't downloaded it yet and you haven't purchased this program yet, it's $10, less than the cost of a haircut, less than half the cost of an average men's haircut in the United States of America. I put it on sale this morning before the class started. It will be on sale till midnight. It's a download. You go, you buy, you click, you download, you save it to your phone or your tablet, or you print it on paper like I did because I'm a paper guy, and you read it and you do it. And what I can share with you is the program as I've laid it out here. If you follow this program as I've laid it out here, it's worth more than $4 million in savings over a barbering career. This plan will allow you to retire with more than $4 million set aside for you to enjoy the balance of your life comfortably, happily, and well. And even if you go to the back of this, and if you look at my projections with regards to savings, you know, one of the interesting things is this program is based on saving small money, saving little bits of money every single day of the work week, little bits of money. We're not talking about socking away thousands. We're talking about socking away a quarter. We're talking about socking away $1. We're talking about a $5 here and there. We're talking about saving small money, investing it properly, and letting it grow. Let money make little money babies of more money. It's exactly what you're going to do, and you're going to multiply that money. One thing I do want to point out, this program is based on a modest return on investment of 8%. 8% is a baseline figure that a lot of financial advisors will use, a lot of documents that I have read, a lot of programming that I've been exposed to works with a long-term 8% growth rate. That's kind of considered a bit of a benchmark. If you can do better than 8, that's great. If you're not quite doing 8, you could probably do better. And that covers a variety of different forms of instruments and financial investments. But one thing I want to point out, I based this program on 8% savings. You can do better than 8. I have an example in the program in which if you change your savings rate from 8% to 8.25%, that's a quarter point of additional interest. Now, pre-coronavirus, my investment and brokerage accounts were earning substantially greater than 8%. I don't have to tell you, it's no secret. February and March, they took a nosedive, and they're back up, and they're over 8%. So what we're talking about here is the average. But if you can average 8%, you're going to retire with over $4 million. If you can bump that from 8 to 8.25, the difference over the course of the savings plan comes out to be about $200,000 additional dollars. Talking $4 million, talking putting an extra $200,000 on it. Stop and pause for a minute and think about that. $200,000. You can purchase a very nice home and in some cases get a big chunk of change back almost anywhere in America for $200,000. There are some zip codes in Beverly Hills, yeah, you can't do it. You want to be in downtown Manhattan, you want to be in Northern California, yeah, okay, it's not going to work. You're not going to get a really nice home. But my point is, a retirement home almost anywhere in America can be very nicely had for $200,000 with change back. So what that means is that's just an extra quarter point on this plan. It's not the whole plan. That's just the power of playing the plan a little bit better, increasing your plan efficiency, your investment return just a little bit. And that's not hard to do. And one of the things you'll find is when you start saving and you start putting money away and you start growing little money babies with your money, it becomes a wee bit addictive. Seeing the numbers grow, watching your savings pile up becomes really a really fun game. And when it comes to playing games, there's no better way than to keep score than with the financial bottom line. So we're going to take a look at this plan. One of the elements of the plan that I want to start out with, you're going to need a few things. You're probably going to need some type of spiral notebook and a pen to keep track of some of this stuff. You may go to an Excel spreadsheet on the computer if you want, but you don't need to go there. You can start with pen and paper. I'm a simple guy, and I like to keep these kind of things really, really simple so that they're really, really accessible to the greatest number of people. You're going to want a basic calculator. This is a $6 calculator that you buy at Walmart. That's a pencil. You're going to need a savings account, a bank account of some kind. Savings accounts in the bank, passbook savings accounts in the bank are not going to provide you the return on investment that you will need to be successful with a program like this. But it's a start. It's a place to put money safely. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation insures savings, I believe individual accounts up to $250,000. Don't have $250,000 in a savings account, but if you do, it's protected. It's better than a shoebox full of money underneath your bed. It's safer. It's protected from fire. It's protected from loss. It's protected from you running in, grabbing a handful of money and running out to make a purchase that you hadn't planned on. So you're going to need a savings account. You're going to need an accountant. You're going to need good information, and an accountant will be a source of some of that kind of guidance along the way. And your accountant will connect you with an investment advisor. someone who can help you navigate the investment of your money very quickly as soon as you have enough money to do that. And that number is much smaller than you think. You don't need to have a lot of money before it's time to begin to invest. And you know, there are some online tools, there are online savings tools for investing in things like mutual funds and stocks and whatnot. I will not under any circumstances claim to be an expert in any of those online savings tools, which is exactly why you need an expert. Why your team needs to contain an accountant and a financial and savings investment advisor. Accountants and financial advisors are not people that rich people have. People, any people, every people needs to have these kind of members on their team. Not just for big money folk. It can be for us beauty industry, small money folk. So you don't need that financial advisor yet. You can start without them. You don't need that accountant this week. You can start without them. You don't even need the calculator yet. You can start without it. There's no excuses not to start. And now is a great time to start because in a lot of cases, a lot of haircutters found themselves in a financial jam when they had to stop working. You know, one of the beautiful things about hair is I can always make money. I can always cut hair. Hair always grows. I need some cash. I go down, I bang out a few haircuts, boom, there's money in my pocket. And I think there was a lot of comfort in that. I think there was a lot of peace of mind in that for our industry. And I think no one in our industry expected to wake up one morning and go, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't cut hair? I can't do haircuts anymore? Where am I getting my money? And people got in trouble. People that did not have that savings, that safety net, that protection. And we were talking about two different kinds of things here. We're talking about short-term protection against work stoppage, and we're talking about long-term protection planning for retirement. So as soon as you start working again, the state of Illinois opens tomorrow. California opened this week. I think a friend I talked to yesterday said New York is opening June 8. Florida's been open a couple of weeks. Atlanta's been open a little more than a month. April 24, I think they opened up. Maybe the 14th, I don't remember. But either way, as soon as you get back to cutting hair, the day you get back to cutting hair is the day you start saving. The day you start preparing for your future. The day that it all begins. Now is the time to plan if you're not cutting hair yet. And if you're already cutting hair, if you started cutting hair a week ago, you're playing catch up already. And you don't want to play catch up. You want to get in front of the bus. You don't always want to be chasing the bus. You want to be on the bus, riding to your long, successful, healthy, and comfortable financial future. The first thing I want to talk about, the first element of this notion, is a concept called pay yourself first. And pay yourself first goes way, way back. I think it first appeared in writing, in publications, in the United States in the 1930s, comes from a very famous book. But the notion of pay yourself first is the idea that many of us are earning money every single day, working hard every single day to pay for bills we already have. The rent guy, he expects money every month. The car payment guy, he expects money. The health insurance guy, he's got a check coming. The cell phone guy's got a check coming. The gym membership's got a check coming. And a lot of people, when money got tight, when they stopped working, really went through their credit card statements and tried very hard to clean up a lot of unnecessary expenses. A lot of things got suspended. A lot of things got put off. A lot of things got held up for a while because the money just wasn't there to spend. And that's just good, smart financial practice. But what never should have stopped, and what I can say has never stopped, in my case, is paying me first. I am the first bill that gets paid. Before anybody ever gets any of my money, I get some of my money first, right off the top. When I've received paychecks, when I've had jobs, and I do work part-time, I have a job that sends me a paycheck. A piece of that comes right off the top. It's like tithing to the church of you. if you'd like to think of it that way. And 10% is not a bad number to work with. It's not a bad number to think about when asking yourself, how much will I pay myself when I pay myself first? And that money you can set up with automatic banking. If your paycheck is automatically deposited into your bank account, into your checking account, you can set up your checking account. If you get paid on the 1st and the 15th, you can set up your checking account that on the 2nd and the 16th, it sucks that money right out of your checking and dumps it into a different account, a savings account. An account, we have an account in my family called the You Don't Touch It account. Does anybody want to guess? Does anybody know what my family does with the You Don't Touch It account? That's right. We don't touch it. We don't ever touch it. That's not vacation money, and that's not new car money, and that's not college money for the kids' money. That is we don't touch it money. If you ask me why am I saving it? For the future. What future? I don't even know yet. When will the future be here? It doesn't matter. I'm saving for it. It'll get here. The future always shows up, but I will be prepared for it when it does. So pay yourself first. Determine an amount of money that is going to be pulled off the top, set it aside, and pull it off. Now, a great time to do this is anytime you ever get a raise. As an example, if you were making $10 an hour, and I'm just using those kind of numbers because I can do math with those kind of numbers. If you were making $10 an hour and you were living okay and you were paying the bills and you were eating and everything was fine, and you get a raise to $11 an hour, do not let your lifestyle expand to fit the greater amount of money. Take that dollar off the top. If you were living okay on 10 before, live okay on 10 now and hide the 11th dollar. Put it away. Put it away. Now, depending on what your numbers look like, you may not want to hide all of it. You may only be able to hide a portion of it. But it's a perfect opportunity when you experience an increase in income from a raise or something like that, like as a haircutter, when July 1 rolls around, and it's raise your haircut prices day in the USA, and the price of a haircut goes up. If you were doing haircuts for 20 and they go up 10% to 22, if you were living okay on 20, live okay on 20. Stash the 2. Do you realize if you do that a few times in a row, the amount of money that you will be saving every haircut, every day, every week will be huge. And the amount of money that that savings is earning in interest, invested accordingly, will be huge. But pay yourself first. Anytime money goes up, save the difference. Save that difference. You got to have some place to start. You start with 10%. Take a look at what your take-home pay is on a weekly basis. Calculate what 10% is and peel that money clean off the top before you get started. Now, I do have within the book, within the program, and this is item number 1 in the program, I have some examples of how the numbers break out on this. And I'm just going to talk you through this. As an example with Pay Yourself First, if you budget $10 a day, that's $70 a week, times 50 weeks, because there's 2 weeks vacation, that's $3,500 per year. Invested at 8%, $3,500 per year for 40 years comes to $982,000 and some change. Did everybody just hear that? What I just told you is $10 a day, just $10 a day over the course of your career makes you a millionaire. Forget about any other money you have. Forget about any other assets you have, the value of your home, any other savings, anything that you do. $10 a day set aside, dumped into a brokerage account, put into a reasonable savings tool at 8% interest, you're a millionaire. Right there. $982,000. You're a millionaire. You're right there. That's powerful. That's really kind of exciting, I think. So that's one concept, only one element. This program's got about 6 elements, and I told you the program is worth about $4+ million a year, just to give you an idea how this works. Now, the next element I have in this is a concept called Stash Your First Haircut. Now, stash your first haircut is a variation on pay yourself first. Stash your first haircut is the idea, and I've heard this referred to as a first fruits idea, using the value of a haircut as your set-aside amount. $10, $15, $20, $24, $32, $48, whatever your haircut price is. That is your base daily savings amount. And it comes from the idea, I've also heard this called left pocket savings. Because, a lot of the world is right-handed. We think dominant right hand, right pocket like that. But that left pocket is that other pocket. We don't go in that left pocket. The left pocket is kind of the we don't touch it account. And the idea is, every day has a first haircut. Every day has a first haircut. Not every day has a 21st haircut. We don't always do that many. Not every day has an 18th haircut. Maybe not even 14, depending on the number of cuts that you typically do on average day in and day out. But for all practical purposes, every day has a first haircut. Stash the first one. Now, don't misunderstand. I would never suggest that it's off the books. I would never suggest that it's unrecorded. I would never suggest that it's not properly accounted for and taxed and treated like real money and real income. But if you're doing $20 haircuts, the idea would be that at some point in the day, peel off that 20. Left pocket that 20. Put away that 20 with the idea that that's the first fruits of your labor, and you're going to pay yourself with that. So $20, the value of a haircut in this example that we're using, just put away. And calling it that first haircut, I think, is a way to help haircutters psychologically sort of box that in. Because I think when you talk to a haircutter and say, hey, could you stash haircut number 1 every day? They go, yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I could cut a little more hair, so there's more hair, there's more money. But I could hide the first one. I could put away the first one. So this is called stash your first haircut. And again, let me get the pad out because I want to work with rough numbers. I wasn't going to go to the pad, but we're going to go to the pad. Now we're doing a lot of rounding here. We're not dealing with solid numbers, and I just want to check to make sure that we're on the screen pretty good. Yeah, we're pretty good. All right. Now we said that pay yourself first gave us $982,000. Great number. The next example was stashing your first haircut. We said, well, here I worked with a $24 haircut, which is an average men's haircut price in the United States of America today. $24 is a very, very reasonable price for a good barbershop, nice environment, decent haircut. The chains are getting that. You go into a chain salon, shampoo, haircut, and style in a chain today. You're not getting out for less than $24. Very real number. 5 days a week is $120 a week. $120 a week times 50 weeks, because you're going to get 2 weeks vacation, is $6,000 a year. $6,000 a year invested over a 40-year period at only 8% interest. Remember, there's variables here. This puts us in at $1,600,000. That's $1,600,000. Do you see that here we're already at $2.5 million? You've only done 2 of the 6 savings elements in the plan, and you are already at $2.5 million in savings for your long-term health, your long-term wealth, and your long-term retirement. That's a lot of money. And remember, even a quarter point of additional earned interest over the course of this program. And by the way, guys, it's never too late to start. I don't know how old you are listening to me, but I don't have 40 years left in my career. I'd be lucky if I have 4 years left in my career, but because I'm getting towards retirement age. But I've been doing some of these things along the way. But even if you're older, even if you've been in the game a little longer, maybe you've only got 30 years to work, or 20, or even 10, you can start now. There's nothing stopping you from starting. And the sooner you start, the more compounding will take place and the faster these numbers will grow. And ideally, the longer you've been in the game, you're generating more money, so your savings rate right now could be greater and you can catch up faster. You can save bigger money sooner, faster, because you have more of it to work with at this point, hopefully. So we're 2 steps in, and we're $2.5 million, guys. And this is simple stuff. This is small money turning into big money. I started this program talking about the fact that we do business with 1s and 5s and 10s and 20s. I'm already talking about millions of dollars that each and every one of us can have. It's all out there for you if you want it. You just have to wake up in the morning, you have to want it, and then you need a plan. And you need to execute. You need to stick to the plan. You need to be consistent, and you must work on it. Next one up is called Divvy Your Tips. And this is a real small money idea. And I love talking about this all the time because I think a lot of us in the beauty industry just lose track of tip money. A lot of us in the haircut, the barber business lose track of tip money. Tip money is right pocket money. Boom, 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 boom. We spend it as fast as we make it. It goes in our pocket and it goes out our pocket. A lot of folks spend tip money so quickly, they don't even realize how much they had. And it's in and it's gone. I know a lot of folks treat tip money as smoking money and drinking money and eating money and gas money and clothes money. Tip money is real money. Tip money is a lot of money. Tip money is serious money in our industry. And if you treat serious money seriously, it will seriously grow. Divvy Your Tips is this idea. All day long, people are tipping you. People are giving you money. They're giving you 2, they're giving you 5, they're giving you 10. Isn't it fun? Isn't it great? It's one of my favorite little parts of the business because I want you to recognize you have friends and you have family that have crappy jobs. Really, a crappy job. What's a crappy job? A crappy job is any job other than a job cutting hair. Let's be honest, okay? You have friends and family that have crappy jobs. You have friends and family that have gone to work every single day, 5 days a week, for years and years. They show up, they clock in, they work hard, and they go home. And the next day, they do it again. They show up, they clock in, they work hard, and they go home. And you probably know somebody, it might even be somebody who lives in your house, who has worked for years, maybe for decades, and no one has ever said to them, thank you. No one has ever said to them, wow, that was great. No one has ever said to them, I appreciate you. No one has ever said to them, you did a great job. No one has ever said to them, wow, this is really cool. Years of working without that kind of feedback. But then you're a hair cutter. You're in the professional beauty and barber industry. And one of the coolest things, and let's be honest, it's cool. It's addictive. We're hooked on it. One of the cool things about our business is every 15 or 20 minutes, somebody says to us, oh my God, you're amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I love you. This is excellent. You're the best. I'm coming back. I want more of this. You're so much better than the last guy. Who doesn't like hearing that stuff? That stuff just feels good. It's wonderful. And I'm honest, I love it. I'm addicted to it. I love the fact that when I cut hair, every 15 minutes, somebody blows a big old bucket of sunshine up my backside. That's a beautiful thing. And you know what else they do? They actually hand me money. And even these people that we talked about with the crappy jobs get paid. You know, automatic deposit where the money just shows up in your checking account, it's pretty slick. It's kind of fantastic. It's easy, but it's not the same as tearing open a pay envelope. And it's definitely not the same as somebody peeling off a few and handing you the green ones. You know, we're going towards a cashless society. We've got PayPal, and we've got Venmo, and we've got Google Pay and Apple Pay and tap your phone and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, there's concerns now about people touching money, dirty money. That's all right, I'll take it, I'll wash it, don't worry about it. I think we're going to lose something when, as a society, we move away from real dollars, real change, rattle, rattle in your pocket. You know, I just love, you know, I stop at a gas station, I pick up a bottle of pop. I just love throwing change in my cup holder. That's a whole nother savings avenue, pocket change, and how fast that accumulates and turns into real money. That's another discussion at another time. But I want to finish the Divvy Your Tips item. It'll be the last one we'll talk about for this program today. And we will have discussed 3. We will have discussed pay yourself first, stash your first haircut, and divvy your tips. And there's 3 more elements to the Big Money Savings Plan that we will not have the opportunity to get to today. But that's okay. You can download the plan online at ivanzoot.com. It's on sale, discount, tonight till midnight. It's a digital download. You go on, click and pay, and you'll get an email containing the link. Boom, it's yours. You can have the whole thing read by lunchtime if you go right now and buy the plan now. Want you to have it. It's there for you. I'll be posting more links, and I believe there's a link to my website is in my Instagram links in my profile there. So if you can't find it there, you can go there. Or reach out to me through any form of social media and say, hey, Ivan, send me the link on the Big Money Savings Plan, and I will send you the link for the Big Money Savings Plan. Divvy your tips. At the end of the day, take your pile of tips. Now, don't cash them up. Don't trade in your 1s for 20s. Don't cash them up to big bills. Keep them small. Remember, it's small money. And small money can be good. Divide them up into little piles. It might help you if you have some envelopes, because initially you'll save this money at home till it gets to be enough to move it to the bank. How many piles you have is up to you. What you name your piles is up to you based on your life and your plan. I'm going to tell you my piles. I'm going to tell you the piles that I used. I always had about 6, maybe 7, depending on what was going on. Pile number 1 was my personal retirement. Pile number 2 was my wife's retirement account. Pile number 3 was my older son's college fund. Pile number 4 was kid number 2 college fund. Pile number 5 was what I called the rainy day fund. Car needs a tire, the hot water heater blows, the air conditioning conks out. That's the life fund. Stuff happens. And you know what? It feels really good when you blow out a tire on the car and you got to run down to the car tire place. It feels really good when you can pay for that car tire with cash instead of putting it on a credit card at 18% interest. It feels really, really good. Rainy day pile. And the last pile was my pocket. So what I was doing is every day I was going 1 for my retirement, 1 for my wife's retirement, 1 for my son's college, 1 for my other son's college, 1 for the rainy day, 1 for my pocket. Start over. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Again, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Dividing it up like that. My retirement fund money, that went in an envelope. When the envelope got a little fat, it turned into a check that was mailed to the broker. Same thing with my wife's. Same thing with my 2 boys' college funds, went into their college savings accounts. The rainy day fund went in an envelope, kind of stayed in the house, stashed away. It could go in the safe deposit box if you felt more comfortable with that, or it could go in a savings account specifically for that. And the pocket money, it went in my pocket. Basically what I just told you was I was living on 1/6 of my tips. Everybody wants a little wham. Everybody know what wham is? Anybody like wham? W-A-M. Walking around money. That's the money you got in your pocket. That's that pop I buy at the gas station. That's a Snickers bar when you're out and about and you want something to munch on. That's an ice cream cone on a hot summer day. You got to have that stuff. That's why we work. to enjoy life. But you can do it on a lot less. And when you know how much you're doing it with, you're going to do less of it because you're going to manage that money. And when you see other money having little money babies, all of a sudden, you're not going to want to see that money get frittered away. So that's your pocket money. Now, when pile number 5, that rainy day fund, has enough in it, and you could argue how much is enough for a rainy day. There are those folks, let's face it, with the coronavirus lockout, it wasn't raining. It was freaking pouring out, okay? A whole different kind of rain. But if pile number 5, the rainy day fund, gets to be enough that you're padded and comfortable, you can stop that, and you can only divvy in 5s. So that you have a little more money in each pile. Puts a little more money in your pocket. The other thing you can do at any time is you can add an extra pocket, or an extra pile, if you will. For instance, maybe we're talking vacation. Want to take the family on a trip. Maybe we're talking, it's getting to be time for a new car. Old Betsy's starting to show some signs of wear and tear. Maybe we're going to need to plan for a car. All of a sudden, we got the car down payment pile. Nothing wrong with that. And you know what? When that's big enough, you can stop. If it's not time for a car yet, stash that money. And when it does come time for a car, you've got $4,000 stashed away as a car down payment, and boom, you can have the car you want because you've planned for the expense you'll have. That's how that works. So let's add up the numbers on divvy. Divvy was, as an example, we said daily tips. Let's say you're taking in $70 a day and you're dividing it into 7 piles. $70 a day in tips, 7 piles. That's a $10 pile. $10 a day times 5 days a week times comes out to $70 per week. No, I'm sorry. $10 per day times 5 days a week is $50 per week. $50 a week times 50 weeks is $35. Let's just double check that. $10 per day times 5 days is $50 per week times 50 weeks is $2,500 times 8% interest for 40 years. That's going to give us another $982,000. $3.5 million on just the first 3 elements of our proposed savings plan. This is how you turn big money, small money, into big money. This is how big money becomes a part of your small money haircut life. This is that savings plan for turning small money into big money. This is just the first 3 steps of it that are worth just short of $3.5 million. If you want help putting a plan like this in place, simply reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to provide you with that guidance and that support and that advice to make something like this happen for you. This is within reach of every single one of us in the haircut business. I said it before and I'll say it again. The earth is covered. The United States of America is covered in money. And there's plenty of it out there for you if you want it. And if you have a few ideas, a few tactics, and a few strategies to help you get it and to help you build it and grow it. Thank you for being here today. We'll be back again at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow we're getting technical. Tomorrow we're cutting hair. Tomorrow is clipper over comb and cowlicks in our technical haircutting conversation. Don't forget to check out barbicide.com. And if you're getting back to business, you could be ready. 100 by 100. 100 new haircut customers in 100 days guaranteed. This is the day-by-day, step-by-step plan for building haircut business behind the chair. Any day can be day 1, and 99 days later, you're looking at 100 new haircut customers. And no matter who you are in the haircut business, 100 new haircut customers will change your life. My job is to write the book and to help you do it. Your job is to do it. And this outlines exactly how it's done. IvanZoot.com. Get a copy today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Download, go right now, buy and download a copy of the Turn Small Money into Big Money Savings Plan and get busy starting today building for your future. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.